To demonstrate the power and the impact of comprehensive financial planning, we're going to go through a real case study, real life example that of folks I've been serving. I've got that and more coming up. My name is Mike Bernard. I'm the host of the Wise Money Show. I'm also one of the certified financial planners right here at Korhorn Financial Group. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and smash that thumbs up button. I know every single video I'm talking about a different strategy or something going on in the markets to keep you informed so that you can help make wise decisions in your financial life. But every video I'm telling you about taking a comprehensive financial planning approach and working with a CFP to get that comprehensive perspective of all 6 areas of your financial life, because that allows you to make great financial decisions, wise financial decisions, helping you achieve your financial goals. But rarely do we actually get into a real life story, a real life case. And everything's confidential, but I thought today, just met with some clients where they've achieved yet another financial goal, and we laid out a path to get to another one. And I thought, let's go through this case. I'm changing names and circumstances a bit to make sure it's confidential, but I want to share with you a real life case study of the power of comprehensive financial planning and taking a one plan approach. Now, a little bit of backstory here. Married couple. She's been a teacher and he worked as a manager at a local business. We've got 4 kids, okay? I've been serving them for about 15 years. And sort of the process of serving them in all 6 areas of their financial life, and it was normal. We reviewed all 6 areas and we would go in depth and we'd talk about goals and so on. But if I look back on the relationship now, 15 years, there's really 3 distinct phases that our planning has gone through, okay? Stage number 1, when I first met them, one of the kids was graduated. There was 1 in college and 2 more were about to get into college. And so that was the big thrust of the financial plan. That was the big focus, okay? How could they continue to make progress to stay on track for retirement or be on track for retirement? But also they had a goal of helping to educate their kids. They weren't paying 100% of college, but they were paying a lot of it, and it was pushing them more and more into debt. They were taking out loans in order to help cover their obligation for college. Now the kids were taking some loans as well, but mom and dad, the folks were taking on loans as well. So balancing all of that was a high priority in this phase of their overall financial picture and their comprehensive financial planning. Some of the stuff that we worked on was, number 1, taking a look at their taxes and saying, well, as your income has grown, you need to contribute more towards retirement to keep your income below certain thresholds so that you're still eligible for the American Opportunity Tax Credits, these college tax credits that are lucrative, especially if you have 3 kids in college at one time. It's a lot of potential tax credits that if your income gets too high, your income needs to be high so you can afford it, but if your income gets too high, you lose these tax benefits. And so in some very challenging and complicated analyses and discussions, so we had to actually increase what they were doing to the 403b, 401k, so that they could keep their income below a certain threshold and still get these very, very important tax benefits. They were going into debt anyways, but we needed to forecast out how much debt they were accumulating and building so that after the kids were out of college, was it going to be a manageable amount of debt, or was it going to create a tailspin in their overall financial life? So projecting that out as well was critically important. And then finally, of course, doing that 5-factor retirement plan, even when they're so focused on the short term, because helping the kids through college and managing that debt was such a significant, just right in their face. Doing that 5-factor retirement plan so that we could see out there on the horizon when could they retire and what things should they continue to do right now and not drop, not avoid, continue to stay on top of so that they could retire at their goals, okay? And at that time, they were hoping to retire early 60s, but they were on track. We had built a plan so that they could retire at 66, okay? And so that clarity to that comprehensive financial plan allowed them and helped them with their tax planning that we were doing and the cash flow management and debt management, helped them get through and navigate that phase 1. Now phase 2 then logically was that empty nester stage. The last 2 kids graduated college at the same time and they were able to breathe and see, okay, this is how much debt we have. And it was, guys, it was over $100,000 of consumer debt, student loans and credit cards and car loans with kids and all that sort of stuff, plus their mortgage. And so then at that stage, it was how much can we continue to do towards retirement, but how do we get this credit card debt specifically and their consumer debt, not just credit card debt, consumer debt paid off by the time we retire? Because as we updated their retirement plan, it wasn't going to work. They weren't going to be able to be on track with retirement if they still had all this credit card debt and consumer debt that was following them into retirement. So what could we do to get that debt paid off by the time they're retired? So we built, and yes, guys, in their late 50s, we built a debt snowball. Most people think, well, that's just when you're young and you've got credit card debt. No, we built a debt snowball. Put the student loans on there, put the car loans on there, put the little credit cards on there, and figured out with their budget, okay, how much needs to continue to be saved for retirement so you're on track? And then how much extra goal achievement money could there be so you could put on this various debt? And we built out a plan to get them consumer debt free within 6 years, which turned out to be about the time they were wanting to retire and planning on retiring anyway. Here's the problem. It wasn't that simple, and this just demonstrates the beauty of comprehensive financial planning, looking at how the seemingly disconnected areas of your financial life are actually together and need to be considered so that you can make a wise decision. Why do I love financial planning so much? Not just because of that power, but because of the perspective that it gives you when life throws you a curveball. And they got two of them about at the exact same time. Plans seem to all be working, okay? Yep, we built that debt snowball. They're making progress. They were encouraged. They were paying off debt, and they were on track. And then he had a health emergency. And it didn't look like he'd be able to make it until age 66. We needed to start figuring out, could they accelerate their plan so that he could retire at 63? Involved in a very bad car accident, very painful, required lots of surgeries as well, got a little bit of insurance proceeds, but listen, it wasn't enough. And so we needed to recalibrate their goal to look at retiring even earlier than what we originally planned. And then the second curveball happened, and this one happened to all of us, COVID. But like all of us, our jobs have had to change. We've had to shift. You might have changed employers. But as a teacher, I only think, COVID has impacted so many. Obviously, if you're in the hospitality industry, COVID impacts you likely the worst. But right outside of that, human resource team members and teachers, it had a significant impact. And on her, the things had just changed so much. And she thought, well, am I able to retire early as well? So we needed to recalibrate the plan to see, could they accelerate how much they were paying on debt, and could we update that 5-factor retirement plan to have them still retire early? And the truth is, we were able to get all of that done, and they were able to retire at the time that they wanted to. It was a huge, huge success. And then now we're in phase 3, where they've retired a couple years ago, but over the past year, and yes, terrible and challenging time to do it, but they said, we're ready to move. We don't need this 4-bedroom house anymore that has all the wear and tear and all the miles on it that we put on it when we were raising kids. That's not how we want retirement to be. And yeah, we've got grandkids and we want to have a gathering space, but we want to sell this existing house and get a new one. So what they do, they bought and built a house. And when you do that, you've got to start outlaying some expense early before you sell your existing house. And that was nerve-wracking, and we had to do some planning. How much bigger or more expensive of a house could they afford and still be able to, maintain their standard of living and all of that, now having a higher mortgage payment, okay? But in addition to that, they've been working and wanting to get that debt paid off. So now that interest rates are a little bit higher and they had to do this, or they chose to do this, how could this all fit financially? And guys, I'm thrilled to tell you that they were able to get into the new house that they built. They sold their house just recently this year, right as the housing market started to sort of cool off. They have a higher interest rate than what they originally planned, but they were able to take the proceeds. We'd been planning through this, able to take the proceeds of their house, put it on the new mortgage, re-amortize that payment, so now their payment's just a few $100s, and then here's where the magic really happened. Everything's stabilized, they're comfortable, and retirement, everything's working. We looked at their tax picture, and back when they were working, we were wanting to save more into that 401k, 403b to keep their taxable income below a certain threshold so they could get these child tax credits. We were avoiding paying tax at the 28 and 25% levels so that we could, by contributing pre-tax their 401k, 403b. Now they're in the 12% tax bracket. And we did the calculation just recently this week, which got me motivated to share this case with you. We did the math this week that showed they could take out about $30,000 a year extra out of their IRAs and still stay within the 12% tax bracket. Between Social Security and pension, they could take out about $30,000 extra out of their 401k and stay within the 12% tax bracket. So then the decision, should we do a Roth conversion of $30,000 a year, or do you want to take this $30,000 a year out and have it either go towards lifestyle or memories or whatever, or have it go on the mortgage? We had that discussion this week, and while financially, well, that's a no-brainer. Let's do that Roth conversion. That will help, accumulate a lot of tax-free dollars. But for them, we looked at cash flow. They had enough cash flow. They were able to do the things that they wanted to do the trips they wanted to do, had the right lifestyle. And to them, it was going to be a lot more motivating, a lot more encouraging, because their long-term financial plan worked and we didn't need to keep those dollars invested. They could actually take those dollars out and put them on the mortgage. They were going to, they felt that was a better calling and purpose for those dollars. So built out a plan. It's going to get their mortgage paid off in 5 years. Get their mortgage paid off in 5 years, where they'll be debt-free and in retirement with ample income and no debt completely, all while staying within that 12% tax bracket. You see now why, number one, I'm going to tell you each and every video that you need a comprehensive financial planning relationship with a CFP, because all 6 areas of your financial life need to be considered when you're making financial choices, whether that's how much to save up, whether that's can I pay down debt and save up for retirement, or does one take priority? We want to help the kids with college, but how do we also be on track for our other financial goals? All of that needs to be considered when you're making financial decisions. But then second, there's so much involved, and then life throws you curveballs. Life changes, your goals change, some outside force forces some sort of change upon you. What process, what perspective, what approach do you have to adapt financially to those changes? Comprehensive financial planning with the CFP, that's the process that's going to help you navigate that. Work with your certified financial planner on that. And if you don't have a CFP that's doing comprehensive financial planning, looking at all 6 areas of your financial life and unifying them, bringing them synergy, so you've got one plan, not 11 or 2. You can contact one of the CFPs on my team. Find us online, Korhorn.com. That's Korhorn with K, wisemoneyshow.com. You can find us there as well, or give us a call, 574-247-5898. All right, there you have it. Go out and take your next wise step in your financial life.